Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the M53 M55, the Tier 9 American SPG. This one's located on the north spawn of Prokhorovka and is under the command of CT Tarantula NL. I think he's Dutch, or at least he's from the Netherlands. Anyway, game on. Now that's the 8-inch howitzer, which means this is an M55. And as the M55, it can do 900 alpha with these shells. Used to be able to do 1050 before Wargaming nerfed us. And will penetrate 52mm of armour and got a burst radius of 10.5 meters. You can see that he's actually picking an original position to be in, going up the other side of the railway line, but staying behind the trees, and he's ready to aim at the enemy. But no enemy in sight yet for him to aim at. Okay, we've got a target. It's an A phase 1 up near the centre line, and he's now looking for that target. Or in fact, actually, no, he's not. He's looking over the other side of the battlefield. Okay. I just saw a tracer coming from that side, so I think the enemy Arty is over there. But up on top of the hill, we've got a UDAS 1516, and we're getting a request for fire on that guy, so we're helping. Just lining up the shot, trying to work out where he's going next. Rounds out. Well, unfortunately, the shell was far enough away that he didn't get any stun. Standard reload, 40.27 seconds. He's got 34.67. And that STB1 is taking damage. This is a Tier 9 Arty in a Tier 10 game. So plenty of opportunity for him to earn XP by hitting higher tier opponents. He's lost sight of the UDAS, but we know he's still there. And there he is. Okay, line up the shot, work out where he's going. He's pulling back and rounds out. This time round he did get some damage, 103 hit points. But sadly we lost the tank during that engagement. Skoda T50 on our team got taken out. Okay, enemy Super Conqueror down by the centre line. He's the one who's shooting at our teammates. Looking for a shot on an Object 705. Loaded. Rounds out, and oh, that was fairly well anticipated. He did work out where the guy was going. I think the shell landed a fraction of a second too early, and he only got splashed. You only get 20 rounds in the M55, unfortunately, so you have to make the best use of them as you can. It's kind of a pity, really, because the 212A at Tier 9 does get more rounds. It gets 30, whereas the American one only gets 20. Kind of a bit of a handicap, that, isn't it? In fact, oh, direct hit, and he hit 3 tanks at the same time. The shell struck the Conqueror, but the UDAS got splashed, and so did the STB1, and they all got stunned. And the enemy UDAS has been killed. Yes, the M55 could only actually carry 10 rounds of 8-inch shells in the racks in the back of the vehicle. That's all that they could get in, but it did have support vehicles which would carry more shells and more charges, because of course it's 2-part ammunition. There was a shell, separate shell to the charge. He put the shell directly between the two. He killed the Conqueror with splash and damaged the STB1. That's a very good placement of the shell there, because by putting it between the two tanks, he ensured that the STB1 got hit as well. Looks like the enemy's making its way into that little dip there. Some nice work. Our guys have pulled back from the hill, which might encourage the enemy to move on, try and come a bit further north. We've lost sight of the enemy now because there's nobody up there to spot for us. We're relying on the guys on the centre line to see any of the enemy tanks that are on top of the hill at the moment. He's actually saying to the team, spot. Yep, spot you. And you can see there's a wreck being moved over there, which means the enemy is pushing the wreck forwards. And I think he's decided the best thing he can do for the moment is actually move over to the other side of the railway line, because if they spot him while he's firing, then he could end up being on the receiving end of an artillery round. There is an enemy Arty. It's a batch at 155.55. Okay, he's decided he's going to go all the way over to the other side of the battlefields. Fire from the west side this time. I think that's a smart decision. Preserves his ability to keep firing. Okay, this looks like a good spot. And he's been careful to avoid knocking down any trees. Okay, right, the enemy tank's up on the hill. The 705's come down the hill, but his teammates haven't joined him, so they're still behind. He fired that one. Well, it's a bit of a snapshot, but he did manage to get it close to the 705 and stunned him. No stun assist so far. We can't see his teammates behind him. The STB-1 didn't come down, and there was a CS-59 I think involved up there as well. We do have a Char Future 4 nearby, and I think that's going to kind of hinder the Object 705 from moving any further forward, and it might give us some nice shots on stationary targets. You can see enemy Arty at the moment is focusing on the Object 279E on our team, who's up at the centre line, facing off against the Super Conqueror, and oh, well, 60 TP on the enemy team just got wiped out. But we still can't see the enemy tanks on this side, so the Char Future 4 has actually moved position, and there we can see them at last. They're up. One of them, the STB-1's up on top of the hill, and he's using the wreck for cover, which won't stop him from getting hit by Arty. And CT Tarantula puts a round into him, hits him directly for 341. And I think he's decided he needs to move. If he doesn't move, he will die where he is. And he's joining the 705 and getting behind that house, but he gets taken out by our standard B. And the 705 moves forward, only to die to the same tank. So the standard B in quick succession picks up 2 kills. Okay, over on the other side of the battle, we've got an AE phase 1 at the centre line, and Jaegeru on the west side. And we can see the enemy Arties on the west side as well, because that's where the tracer just came from. Lost sight of that AE phase 1, but somebody we haven't lost sight of is that Super Conk. Only now we have. There's the Jaegeru. Okay, so he's going to dial in on this guy. And he fires snap because he wasn't fully dialed in, but he still hit him. It went into the bush and hit him directly. No idea the amount of damage, but obviously our figures are going to show, or going to be missing the damage that was done by that shot. There's another tracer from the enemy Arty. He's definitely over on that side. He's not in the trees and the bushes. He's actually a little further back and to the far side of them. So he's definitely in the one line. Yeah, I think he's trying to work out which bush he's in. I'm pretty sure he's in that area there. He just wants to see the tracer coming out before he fires a round in. You remember, the tracer doesn't always... Oh! The batch had just died! Somebody fired a blind shot into that area and took out the batch hat before CT Tarantula had a chance. I'm not sure if he's realised that that is the enemy Arty. Yeah, he's gone. Unless, of course, he thinks there's another enemy tank in there. I'm pretty sure that was the only one that was over there. Okay, looking up on top of the hill, we've got a T-54 who held back. I think he may have come to the... He may be a late comer to the hill. Now, CT Tarantula fires in. Could be close. It's directly on target. 288 from that one. A nice direct hit. He's used up half his ammunition so far. We're basically another 5 minutes of the game to go. So we've had 2/3 of the game. And only 6 tanks on either side have been killed. So that's only 2/5 of either side have been wiped out. Going for the T-54 again. Rounds out. Looks good. Very good. Oh, so close. Okay, we've got a Skoda T50. He's just decided to dip down into the hill. T54, he's tracked up against the edge of the hill. He's gone. Now, this Skoda down here, he's probably waiting for our guys to come down. The Cranvarn goes after him. And I think we're going to put a round into the Skoda, slow him down a little. That's going to slow him down, allow the Cranvarn to get the kill. And it is the Cranvarn that kills him. And now we've got 2 tanks in the dip. The Standard B, who, if you remember, was getting nice and nuts of kills. He's got 3 kills, that guy now. And the Cranvarn as well. In fact, the Standard B still got most of his hit points as well, which means that he's a real threat to the enemy team. So if CT Tarantula can actually put a few rounds into the enemy, he'll really be a help. Now going for the Super Cop, rounds out. He hits him, 235 with that one. It was a direct hit on him. He's down to 71 hit points. Makes him a one shot if the guys can get around onto him. The Standard B's trying. In fact, actually, I think he's firing in the wrong positions. The Superconk's moved on. And he moved to one side. But we can now see him. And we only need 1 round to land on that guy. And he's going to be back in the garage. Okay, stay still. Just a sec. Back to the garage. Oh, no. Just missed him. RNG said, nope, not this time. In fact, we lost the Standard B to their CS59. I think he stayed still too long as well. And this T30 is also a one-shot. And they're being reinforced by their Standard B. But we're up on the enemy on hit points and trying to get a shot on those two. See if we can get a kill on the T30 at the same time. Oh, T30 goes down, so he's aiming for the CS59. Rounds out. This should be a direct hit. It is. 399. I say it. He says close, so it must have landed right next door to him instead of actually hitting him. It looked to me like it was a direct hit, but as near as you can get it. Well, there's only 2 enemies remaining now. Their CS59, their Standard B, and they're both by the railway line. Five rounds left. That's 25% of the original ammo load. CS59's in sight. Rounds out. 117 from a near miss. And he's killed, which means he picked up the stun assist anyway. And all that's left is the Standard B, who's, well, he's a splash kill now. That's all we've got to do is put the round anywhere near him and he's out the game. He's sitting by that rock. CT Tarantula's waiting for the reload to go through. That guy's hugging that rock because he knows that if he moves away from it, he's going to get killed, and he did. And that's the end of his game. And here's the end of battle stats, and that was the first ace tanker for CT Tarantula in the M53, M55. Congratulations, you've broken your duck on that one. Yes, first ace tanker is always signified by the scrolls underneath the M, if you do get one. He got a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 15 in that one. And he also got a Confederate for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. These 6 tanks subsequently taken out by teammates. And his win rate from the game was 3,431, which is Super Unicum standard. And let's have a look at the team score. Well, the highest damage in the game was done by our Object 279E. He got 7,676 hit points of damage, picked up a high caliber and a steel wall. Whereas the second highest damage in the game was CT Tarantula with 3,248, or is it the second highest damage on his team rather, because the second highest in the game was actually the enemy T30 with 3,762. And when it came to kills, it was the Object 279E alongside the T30 and Standard B on his own team, and the CS59 and Super Conqueror on the enemy team. And we can see that CT Tarantula just got the one kill. And when it came to base XP, it was the Object 279E again with 1,313, 1,104 went to CT Tarantula, and 903 went to the Centurion 71. CT Tarantula and that 279E were the only ones over 1,000. He fired 16 rounds, so he still had 4 rounds of ammo left at the end of the game. 5 direct hits on the enemy, but no penetrations, 17 splash. Damage of 3,248 hit points, and all of it was done at more than 300 meters. 9 enemy vehicles were damaged, 1 was killed, and 1,687 hit points of stun assist off 16 stuns. He earned 50,193 credits from the game, and after ammunition resupply took away 20,273 credits profit, and 1,656 XP, 3,312 for mission completion, and took away 4,968 experience points altogether. It was a good job he did actually move from one side of the railway line to over to the other side, because the enemy did actually move quite a long way forward before they got stopped at that house. And after that, yes, I'm afraid they weren't able to progress any further because there was just too many of our tanks ready and willing to snipe them if they did. But it was some really good shots by CT Tarantula. He was getting some very nice accurate shots towards the end of the game, and that certainly contributed to the win. At least I think it did. Well, it definitely did. So well done, CT Tarantula. You've broken your duck on that one, and now you're going to have to do it again. I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And of course, do remember that we've got a sister channel called The General, where you can watch replays without any annoying commentary whatsoever, and they're just straight battles with lots of medals and usually very, very interesting games, which teach you a lot about positions, sight lines, how to get damage on the enemy without receiving damage in return, or how to survive a battle even though you've lost virtually all of your hit points and still come out on top. Thanks for watching.